broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, Finding Carter fans. You are watching AfterBuzz TV's After Show for Finding Carter, Season 2, Episode 14. What is it called? Anywhere but here. I'm your host, Kylie Hodges, and you can follow me on Twitter at the Kylie Hodges or Instagram just at Kylie Hodges. And I love tweeting about the show. I have a lot of feelings. I love talking in emojis. And speaking about people who have a lot of feelings, it's my co-host, Hannah.
I cried a lot tonight, you guys. But yeah, guys, I'm Hannah Prichard. You all can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TheHotShotDude. We'll talk about all the tears I cried today.
We are literally right now like that emoji of the masks where one is sad and the other's happy because like I'm so jazzed. And you're just like, I cried twice during this episode.
I did. I was having all the feels during it.
So maybe I'm just heartless, but I didn't feel enough heart in this episode.
What are you talking about? Carter was crying at the end of that.
But was she crying? It was like happy tears. It was like one sad little tear and then a little make out and then goodbye crash.
It was accepting what she couldn't control anymore. It was sad to watch.
I'm not going to cry right now. I will say, I think Carter's grown up a bit, so good for her. She's really come places. And this episode made me really like Carter and Crash. I mean, I always thought Crash was a cutie, but for some reason that scene where they were in the car together and he was like, just be careful. I was like, ooh, I'm digging this handsome army Crash.
So attractive.
Yeah.
So sweet.
But then they break up and he goes to California, so spoiler
But it can't
alert.
be the end of him. Like, it can't be the end of him.
No.
Like, that's the only thing that I was like, why is this happening? Because, like, he's, like, a regular now. You know what I mean? And, like, he's a part of the show. But I know they're, like, trying to make room for Mr. Dude Man.
Ben.
Is that his name? No, not
the
Ben.
Character. Oh, Jared, the bartender?
Yeah. I feel like they're trying to make room for him to be a love interest, but I'm not digging him as a love interest. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's something like
I don't like that.
Right?
I don't like that.
I don't feel like it's...
What are people saying on Twitter? Someone just tweeted at me. Oh, you're just favoriting my tweets. Guys, talk to me about the show. Don't fave it. Talk to me. It's a one-sided conversation otherwise. All right, let's dissect this episode, shall we?
Please.
All right, so first of all, the mystery of Carter using fake ID to get a job was not solved, so let's just look past it.
Clearly it's okay.
She's making that money. You go,
Making
Carter.
it right.
Taylor confronts her, and she's like, yo, where have you been?
No. I enjoyed that.
And Carter, I'm surprised that no one has figured out that Carter is 17 at the bar, but whatever.
Right. I really don't understand that. I'm like, or did they figure out and we missed that conversation?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they didn't decide to write that into the script.
Yeah.
But like that really doesn't make sense to me. Like, they have to pay her. They have to know her like social security, like all that kind of stuff. Like, how she's not being paid under the table. So I'm really confused by it.
I mean, every state is different, but she could just be making tips and then paying the restaurant.
But even
out.
if that is the case, I don't know of a state that you can serve under the age of 20 liquor.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I was serving liquor at 18.
Really?
Yeah. This is a public service announcement for anybody who hasn't had a waitressing job. The beginning montage where Carter is working at the bar made it look really sexy and cool.
It's not.
It's probably the worst job I've ever had.
Yeah, right?
It's really hard.
It sucks.
And not sexy. And it's smelly and sweaty and thankless.
Yeah.
So this is a public service announcement for anybody who
thankless.
thinks it's sexy to be a waitress. It's not.
It's not at all. It's
Or
absolutely
bartender.
awful.
Yeah.
They're hating their lives the entire time they're doing it.
The writers of the show did a great job of romanticizing a wait job.
Yeah, right? Even like at the end with all the, like her looking around the bar and the bar looks grimy,
it's like glowing.
but beautiful, right? I'm like, no. Every time I walk into a bar that I'm working at, I'm like,
Oh, why are the lights on? Make them dimmer.
Exactly. Turn them off. I'm gonna fall asleep in this booth.
Yeah.
Don't unlock the doors. Nobody's coming in today. Like,
but I
legit.
will say, I'm sure this scene was shot to be through Carter's eyes, in which I remember my first couple weeks as a server, and I remember thinking like, I'm an adult. Look at me making money, doing fast, hard work like a grown woman. So everything seemed cool and exciting, but lost that glamour real fast. Really?
No.
Well, I'll save the story for another time because we're already, 4 minutes into this after show. There's not a timer in the studio anymore. I don't know what is going on, America. How long has this after show been going? 5 minutes.
5 minutes in.
All right. Well, I'm not going to tell a long story, but I will say the first time I started waitressing, my first day off of training, I passed out from being overwhelmed from a table of people who wanted to pay for separate checks and only cash. So the more you know about Kylie, let's move on to Finding Carter, shall we?
Oh my God, I love that so much.
Oh, and I broke my glasses when I passed out. I hit my head on a bed.
Stop it.
The more you know. Anyways, Carter's working at a bar, making that money. People are wondering what the F she's up to. Meanwhile, David reveals there's another book being written about the family. And Carter's like, you should rewrite that book that I threw out the window.
And he should. I get that he was sneaky and it was wrong and we all didn't like him when he was doing it. But he should be the one writing it. If they're going to have other people writing the books, why not him?
Well, the first time around, his intentions were wrong.
Yes.
The second time around, if he were to write it now, it would be to defend his family.
Right. Well, and I guess he's already written it. I thought the big deal of her throwing it out the window is that was the end of the book. He couldn't get it anymore.
Yeah.
That was the only manuscript, and little did we know, Grant's sitting there blah, 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 blah.
It's so interesting because the first season of this show, we kept saying, why are the parents acting like children and the children are acting like adults? But now I feel like the universe has sort of found its equilibrium.
Completely
the adults are acting like adults and the children are acting like children. However, I think the adults are kind of lazy parents because Elizabeth and David don't really try that hard to be mad about any one particular thing. Elizabeth was mad about the Lori thing for a second.
Yeah.
David's kind of mad at Carter being truant, but not really. They're just you go to school.
Weren't you so happy though that she actually got in trouble for being truant? Because I was we said this last week.
Yeah,
we
Yell
were
Teagle.
why didn't she be truant by now?
Yell is in London or Spain or Africa. I don't know.
She's everywhere.
She's doing Comic-Con in all the places that I've never been to. And I bet her ears are burning right now knowing that we are discussing truancy and Finding Carter because this is something she's wanted justice for.
And about time. But I love that their answer to it is, well, let's drop out. What?
Yeah, this was definitely not a public service announcement to stay in school.
Right? It was let's reward you being sneaky and dipping out of school all the time. You don't want to go to school? Let's not go to school. Let's get your GED.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like if I were in the position of Elizabeth and David, I would have said, okay, school isn't your thing. Yeah, we'll get... Elizabeth did make her promise she'll get her GED.
Right.
But I would have said maybe before dropping out of school, you have to have a job lined up.
Yeah.
And they never asked her, hey, have you thought about getting a job? And then she could have been well, actually, guys, got one.
Right.
That would have been a perfect segue to be don't be mad, don't be mad.
Already did it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because now that's going to come back and nip her in the butt, basically, because she's trying to prove that she's an adult, and now she's already been deceitful or lying.
Yep.
And
falling asleep on buses.
I have no problem with somebody dropping out of school and getting their GED. I'm totally in support of it. I think that's all I ever wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that this was they were okay with it within an hour. That should be a decision that's made over weeks of time or discussed or maybe try this before we let you drop out. Try getting involved in a club or try doing this. What can we do to potentially help you enjoy it? And if that doesn't work, then we'll discuss the rest. But instead, they were just within 5 minutes, we're not going to win this battle.
So you know what's interesting about this episode was I noticed that this happened over the whole episode was a 2.5-day period.
Yeah.
And I feel it felt so many more days had gone by, mainly because Carter was working a lot, but also
True statement.
everything that had happened, I don't remember. I think maybe Ben made a comment. Somebody made a comment where they implied that a scene previous in the show was like that same day. And I was like, what?
I have no idea.
It was when Carter went to Lori and then came back home. That was all like in one day.
Oh, yeah.
She's a busy girl. Busy girl.
You know,
she's
when
out
she's
and about.
not at school, she's got all this time to kill during the day from like 7:30 a.m. until 3. She's running errands.
That's right. We have jumped all over this episode,
That's
but
fine.
I want to talk a little bit about Ben. I'm on him.
I know, but
I don't know how I feel about him. Taylor's very nice to him.
Well, and that relationship, I think, is going to be the one that works out the most.
Yeah.
Like, that friendship, I think, is going to be real because Taylor's not, like, I don't know, feeding into the way that he is. You know what I mean? Like, Taylor called him out on Gabe and everything, and a way that made Ben be able to come back and admit that he was wrong at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I don't know. Anybody who is being raised by Lori, I'm suspect of Carter.
For real. And that, like, supports her and tries to convince somebody else to live with her. I'm like, what is Lori doing to you behind closed doors?
Yeah.
That sounded inappropriate. I didn't mean it that way.
No, I see what you mean. And Ben, like, planted a seed with Carter early on about Lori, and I just find that strange.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he would have an ulterior motive to get Carter to live with him and Lori.
Right?
But I don't know what that would be.
I don't either.
What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Tell
when are we
us.
going to find out what Ben is stealing this cash for and all the credit cards and like how he's doing
also, I want to give a shout out to all the people who commented on the YouTube video from last week, because somebody made a comment that was like, "Who keeps money in a shed?" Touche. Who does keep money in a shed? But also, everybody set the record straight for us about the age difference between Ben and Carter and
what was
Taylor. So I can't believe I flubbed this, but Ben is about a year and a half younger than the twins because the twins were born and then he had the affair with Lori and then Ben was born. Are you confused?
Okay.
Because he had an affair with her. Well, see, now I'm getting confused because didn't they have the affair when Lori and David were having issues getting pregnant?
Yes.
Because I read all these comments that were like, no, the twins are older.
Or, yeah.
I felt really confident about this before I said it out loud.
Yeah, I don't, you know.
But now I don't know if I trust these comments. But everybody said it, so I was like, peer pressure.
We need Zach to come back on. I think he was the best at clearing things up for us.
Grant. All right, well, let's actually talk about Grant because we only saw him in one scene this whole episode, and it was him reading David's manuscript, presumably, which was the manuscript that Carter threw out the car window last season.
Right.
And now it's suddenly back. And David said some really nice words about Carter.
Yeah.
So, and it was well written.
Yeah.
Who thought David's a good writer?
Right.
The more you know.
Yeah. I just want everything to be about Grant. We never see him enough, and I'm
Yeah, we
always
need more
waiting
Grant.
for us to see him or to see more of him, and we never ever do.
I want Grant to get his driver's license because then he can like pick up the drunk older kids.
Yeah.
He can be the cool DD younger brother.
Yeah, right?
Speaking of drunk people,
Grant.
this whole firing Carter for Gabe being drunk was absurd.
Absurd because
It's not really legal. She's yes, she served him knowing he was drunk, but she also cut him off. She didn't realize how drunk he was until she approached him and he saw he was drinking, like chugging his drink. That's not illegal.
Right.
I mean, she did the right thing by cutting him off and asking him to leave. And the fact that the bartender was mad at her for there being a drunk patron that she served and then cut off is kind of absurd.
Yeah. I don't know. I was a little confused about it. And I didn't know if I like missed the conversation at the beginning that the bartender had with her. That was like, I didn't know if, what's his name again?
Jared
Jared
the bartender.
I didn't know if Jared had been like initially, I want you to go cut that guy off, and then she proceeded to do the opposite and order dark and stormies for them and bring them over. I wasn't sure if I like missed that. Is that
No.
what the conversation was, or was he like, I just want you to take care of them?
No, he just pointed out that there was a table of people and they were kind of rowdy and she's like, I can do it. And then she turned back again and said, oh, can I get 2 dark and stormies? Because she knew
that he was
what Gabe and Ben liked
yeah.
to drink. So before she even greeted them, she had their drinks ready. Then came to them. Only Gabe was hammered, really. Ben seems like he's had a few drinks in his day and can tolerate them.
Gabe's he's lost it.
He's new. Yeah, he's spiraling.
Real bad.
Makes me sad.
It does, and it makes me sad too. Mm-hmm. Because when does he just like flip that switch and go back the other way? And like, especially if he has feelings for Taylor, like what? Like when, if that is ever going to be a thing, like is he going to develop those feelings and admit those feelings through being a crazy drunkard? Because then it's never going to happen between them. And then Gabe is going to be a character that people start to get annoyed with, I feel like, if that's the way that they go about that. Like he's going to have to get his shiznit together beforehand.
Yeah. I want him to like move in with Taylor's family and Elizabeth
and be part of the family.
Yeah.
I would be
like
down
Max
with that.
lived there for a little while. And...
Right. Why is nobody taking care of Gabe? Like, I'm surprised.
Because he pushed everyone away.
But I feel like, why isn't a parent? Like, I'm surprised that a parent didn't step in and be like, you can live with us. And for whatever reason, everybody's just like so okay and comfortable with him living in this house by himself.
Well, I know that, I mean, there was that scene where Elizabeth reached out to him and said, like, please come live with us. And he pushed him away. So I'm assuming it's all on him that he is in this position.
That's true. I guess I forgot about that conversation.
The more you know. But I will. Okay, so we find out that Crash is getting assigned to California, and Carter is talking to Taylor in her bedroom, and I thought that was really interesting. I replayed this just to double check that I didn't hear it wrong, but when Carter is talking to Taylor about possibly moving to California, she goes, yeah, I would... I'm sorry, wait, who's she telling? She says, I would miss Taylor, Mom, Dad, and Ben. Oh, she must have been telling Crash that. I'm sorry. Not Taylor. But she says, I would miss Taylor, Mom, Dad, and Ben. And I was like, what about Grant? And
You're
also,
right, she
Ben?
did do that.
You're going to miss Ben? Really?
She didn't say Grant, did she?
No. She said, I would miss Taylor, Mom, Dad, and Ben.
What? Oh my gosh, I didn't even
You're
like,
gonna
realize
miss
that.
the half-brother you just met who forced you to help him rob somebody?
Poor Armadillo. He gets the shaft
Grant,
so much.
we need more Grant.
I love, like, seriously, I can see
my
your
hand?
hands, like, coming.
I have very long limbs, guys, and I'm feeling passionate about this. Where's more Grant? Grant is the only sane person on this show. He's the youngest and the most responsible character, and we need more of him now.
He is.
Ugh,
I'm ready for it. They should do a whole Grant episode.
Yes.
Like, in the life of Grant.
Finding Grant.
Yes.
Where is Grant, really?
Let's do that. Come on, guys. I want a Finding Grant episode.
I just pictured the intro of the show where, like, you know, Carter's being turned upside down, but it's Grant.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's just, like, game controllers falling all around him.
Yes. That should happen, seriously. They have to have that in the works. Come on.
I hope so. I want to talk a little bit about the Taylor, Max, Ben, Gabe world. I feel like they were all kind of intertwined in this episode.
Can't be great. It's not great.
So Taylor and Ben are talking about Gabe, and Ben is being a total little bitch about it. And he's like kind of giving Taylor attitude about, she's like, you know, just watch out for him. And he goes, if I were Gabe, I wouldn't appreciate anyone saying that about me. I'm sorry that Taylor's a concerned friend.
Yeah, for real.
You robber.
He just doesn't know Gabe. Like he
doesn't.
You know, he doesn't really have the place or right to say anything about Gabe. Or
yeah, but he has very quickly asserted himself into everyone's life.
Everyone's, but then yet doesn't want to be a part of their lives, which doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, then choose other friends but their best friends.
I feel like he has an ulterior motive. Like, I feel like he's gonna rob everybody, or, you know, he has some sort of master plan going on in his head that he seems manipulative.
Yeah.
He seems manipulative. I don't trust him.
Yeah. I don't trust him for his own sake, you know what I mean? But I don't think he's gonna wrong any of them intentionally.
We'll see.
I think he
is being raised by Lori.
Indirectly.
Hello.
Which can't be great. Oh, she's so sneaky. She irritates the hell out of me.
Well, more on her in a minute. So then Max picks up Taylor and he reveals it's their 6-month of meeting anniversary.
Has it really only been that long?
immediately where my mind went. What? Only 6 months? And then I realized this whole episode was over like a day and a half. And I was like, of course.
Right, but so much has happened in this series already, and it's only been 6 months.
I don't understand how no character in the show has PTSD. Because I feel like if all of this has happened in 6 months, lock me up. I would be crazy.
And I can understand for some of the storylines, but like Crash went to like training or whatever and then came back and now is going again, all in a 6 month period after all of the things happened before he left.
Yeah. Well, I think basic is like 12 weeks or something. So how long is that? That's 3 months.
Yeah.
So
but think about everything that happened before. Him being gone in basic wasn't that long.
Yeah, but like, season 1, like that, everything has been super condensed. It just
crazy.
There's 24 hours in a day, and a lot can happen.
Grant has grown a lot.
Yeah,
6 months.
It may be 6 months in the Finding Carter world, but Grant's body has grown 2 years.
Yeah,
easily.
And voice
puberty,
change,
man.
Yeah, woo, overnight.
It's crazy. 6 months. When I was 15, I grew really fast too. But anyways, my voice didn't change. So then Max makes dinner, which is so cute, and he does a terrible job at it. Taylor made a crouton comment. Loved it. I was like, yeah, going back to the old school Taylor that made croutons for dinner.
And that's what they did for the first time together. That's when they realized they liked each other, wasn't it? Yeah. You know, making those croutons. Oh, it's
cute.
So cute.
And then Taylor has to leave to go get Gabe because he's drunk. Gabe reveals that he's had the hots for her. And then when Max talks to her the next day, she apologizes for leaving, but then lies to Max when he says, do you think Gabe likes you? And she's like, no, not at all. I feel like I understand why she would say that, because obviously you don't want Max to be insecure. But lying, no bueno. Great. She could have just been like, you know what? He was drunk last night and said this thing, but honestly, I have no feelings. I love you. We're
exactly.
friends.
That's why I was like, what's the big deal? If he has feelings for her, that's not... You know what I mean? She shouldn't have to be the one to convince Max that he doesn't have feelings for her. That's like not her place. So she should just be able to admit that she knows or assumes or has an inclination or whatever. I can't use my words. That Gabe does. But she, like you said, has like no desire in anybody else but Max, which then by not admitting gives the impression that she does have feelings for Gabe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
if you're hiding it, then what's going on?
And anyways, like in the first place, when she went to go get Gabe, I didn't understand why Max wouldn't be going with her. Like, why not invite him? You know what I mean? It's your all's anniversary, you're dating. Like, so what? You have to go pick up your friend. He like said he'd go with you. Okay, come.
Yeah, and if I were Max, if it were that late at night and I knew, did he know Gabe was drunk? Did he know that?
I think Taylor had just said Gabe's acting out of control or something.
If I had heard that and I was a guy with my girlfriend, I would have been like, I'll come with you.
Exactly.
It's not a question. Not that he would force it on her, but like, just to be safe, let's go together.
Exactly.
It's no big deal.
Right. I just thought that was interesting.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. I was like, why wouldn't you guys both go? I don't understand.
It's weird that she was secretive about it.
Yeah, and it's not like they're not all friends. It'd be one thing if they were in a relationship where they had separate friends, but they have the same friends. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, like
that
what?
Was interesting.
I truly thought in my head, well, while she's gone, I guess he can watch Netflix.
Yeah.
And wonder if his girlfriend is okay. Weird.
Oh, Lord, crack me up.
All right, let's talk about Lori a little bit. Carter goes to her front door, asks her to sign these papers so she can drop out of school. And Lori was like, pretty chill and even keeled about it. You're growling.
I don't like her because
right,
like not even keeled though. She was just like, she was manipulative in choosing to sign them. She was like, yeah, you know, you can come for me because I'm the cool mom.
Yeah, that's always how she's been.
Like,
and how dumb of Carter, who months ago, or no, this was probably a week ago, when she said to Lori like, I hate you. I don't ever want to have anything to do with you again. And now Lori she's at Lori's front door getting her to sign papers for her. Come on, girl.
It was silly. And then of course for Lori to run into Elizabeth on the street and be like, yeah, we just had a conversation. I just signed these papers. Like, what?
Because she's acting like a child. She's stirring the pot.
But I loved Elizabeth so much being like when Lori was like, yeah, it's a small town. And Elizabeth was like, well, you know, I'm just being optimistic thinking you would have moved already. I love that so much. Really quick.
Are you tweeting on air?
I'm trying to. Sarah Bishkin, we're really sorry. We want to be able to read the chat roll and the things all at the same time. We're not the best at multitasking.
I'll try. I'm not good at reading chat roll and lead hosting. That's why.
Do we think Carter and Jared will have a thing? Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna go into that with predictions.
I think didn't Zach like kind of hint at that when he was here? I thought he did. I thought there was a reason why I believed that.
I don't know.
But
let's go into predictions. Why not?
Okay. I mean, we actually have.
And now your AfterBuzz
Here we are.
TV.
We're predicting.
Red action.
Those are my hands. Those are my hands.
I'm sorry. I'm reading all of her questions. She's
Fine.
found a few.
The internet broke, so I can't read the chat roll right now. But yeah, go for it.
Are we supposed to still have sympathy for Gabe?
I do, and here's why. If this whole show essentially has happened in 6 months,
True statement.
his father probably only passed away like maybe a month ago, and grieving the death of a parent. I mean, I don't think anybody ever gets over it. My dad, his dad died when he was 13, and he still like says he's not over it. So
yeah.
And I think of all the times in your life for something traumatic to happen to you as a teenager, it's really going to mess with your brain. So he needs real help.
For real. And I think actually Taylor said to Ben, I think it's only been a couple of weeks. Like, I think it's only been like 2 weeks since his dad passed.
Yeah. It's been a
like,
short
ridiculous
amount of time.
He's going, like, he gets free pass for
sure.
For a hot minute.
And also, he's so handsome. Look at that hair. Even when he's spiraling out of control,
he
looks good.
is so handsome. And he gets progressively more attractive every episode. Do we think Lori will attempt to kidnap Carter again? No, we too late for that. I think we're
well,
I think that
I wouldn't put it
sailed.
past her. I mean, why else
Really?
would Lori have moved into town? I mean, so she can see Carter, but I feel like if she can this quickly go crazy and snap out of it, she can
True.
just as quickly go back.
Well, she's totally up to something. I just don't know why.
Yeah.
But she is, right?
Yeah, because what is she doing? She's not working. She's living in like public housing, and David is supporting her.
She's going about it the wrong way, though. If she wants to, like, manipulate Carter, she needs to be friends with her.
Yeah, and I think that probably had to do with why she signed the paper.
True.
It's a slow burn.
True.
But also, if she really truly wanted to manipulate Carter, she needs to get nice with Lori or with David and Elizabeth.
Very
Get
true.
everybody on your side and blindside them.
Yeah, we should let her know.
Yeah. Does anybody have Lori's number? I'll give her a call.
We got some manipulation techniques. Clearly nobody trusts me or Kylie.
Are there any more questions from Sarah or
Let's
anyone on the
see.
Twitters? My chat roll won't load. I'm sorry, guys.
I believe that is it from
Okay.
Sarah. Yes.
Thanks for watching, Sarah.
Yeah.
Mad love. All right, let's legit predict.
Okay.
Co-host first.
Jared and Carter, yes, I think are going to probably, I don't know, like hook up in the next episode potentially. I predict we won't see Crash for a couple weeks, but then we'll see him in a couple weeks.
So is that like 5 seasons from now?
Yeah, right. I predict that true statement. I predict that I think Taylor and Gabe will have like a makeout.
Yeah.
And like I don't even know if Taylor will be as intoxicated as Gabe is when it happens.
Do you think Taylor will drink anymore since she had that little problem and now she's like, I'm better again?
Yeah, because she was drinking at when she was playing against that one dude. Dang it, who she was competing with.
Damon.
Damon. Which maybe we'll see Damon again. And
Yeah, we will.
yeah. And like maybe that'll be like a expanded triangle. What do you call that? Like a rhombus? I don't know.
Let's not make this about math.
But
I hate
that's what I'm thinking.
hate math.
And I think that's Carter's I don't think Carter's actually going to get caught yet with the bartending or like working at the bar, because I think we have to develop her and Jared's relationship first.
Yeah. I agree.
Ugh.
Are those all your predictions?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think Crash is going to go to California. King Carter is going to be like, well, I'm taking life into my own hand. Hook up with Jared the bartender. They have a thing. Crash comes back into town and is like, the whole time I was gone, I was looking for myself and I realized I'm not myself without you. I love you, Carter. And she's going to be like, oh, this is weird. I'm hooking up with my boss who's a bartender.
That is such a line. You are so right.
Love
That's going to happen.
triangle ensues. Taylor and Gabe, for sure, next episode or the episode after that, Gabe is going to be super vulnerable in the darkest place he's ever been. Taylor, who's probably the closest friend to him, is going to be there for him. There will be a makeout. She will be sober. Max is going to find out. And love triangle. Because then Taylor's going to be conflicted because she used to be majorly in love with him.
Right. It's not great. It's not great.
And Grant is going to be seen in only one scene in the next episode, probably. That's my prediction. Give me more Grant.
I just always want more Grant.
Give him another girlfriend so we can see more of him.
Yeah.
Internet girlfriends.
Yeah.
And then, so then the ending. Lori stalks Carter at her job late at night outside of a bar. It's bar closed at this point, so presumably around 2 a.m. And she's waiting for her in a back alley?
I need to
How
talk
creepy.
to you. What could she possibly need to talk to her about? What's going down?
I wonder if Lori and Ben are scheming together. I just think they're a bunch of like manipulative masterminds.
Why do I still not really even fully buy it that Ben is her brother?
What if he was just like an actor or a con artist hired?
Yeah, like, dude, he really may be. Like, I'm like not fully buying everything.
Yeah, something's shady. Something smells fishy.
I like, you legit sniffled, and I was like, well, I know, but shoot.
Hannah admitted,
that I haven't washed my hair in like 5 days.
Hannah hasn't washed her hair in 5 days, everybody. And
it's good
now
for
she's
it.
self-conscious because she let the cat out of the bag. I made a sniffing noise implying that Lori is suspicious and she thinks it's about her dirty hair.
Listen, there's a reason why it's on top of my head right now, you guys. I apologize.
Hashtag Hannah shower. Please, hashtag Hannah shower.
Guys, I did wash the rest of my body. Okay.
Also, guys, I'm sure you loved this after show, but guess what? Yell Teagle will be back next week, I think. I'm like 90% positive. I think she's in London, though. So I don't know how long she'll be there. She's there for some sort of Comic-Con situation.
I'm like really jealous of her life a little bit.
Yeah, I don't really get it. She sends me random emails like, oh, I'm in a helicopter over Swahili. Can you cover for me? And I'm like, sure, I guess. Let me just do my thing here in Los Angeles, crying over you, Yell.
Yeah, for real.
All right. I'm all finding Cartered out. King Carter took total reign this episode. She just owned the whole storyline. Just like she wanted. It was all Carter.
I just really quickly want to say the last question that Sarah just asked. Carter and Ben incestuous relationship? Listen, I'm not going to say that I didn't think it the minute we first met him, but I mean, like,
I wouldn't be surprised. But
once we find out
it's not there yet. They're not there yet.
Once we find out it's not really her brother, then probs.
Yeah. It's literally going to be paternity results and a makeout. Marissa, man, your timing is great. Our engineer, she totally wants to go get dinner and go home. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hashtag Hannah Shower. Hashtag Where's Yell. Hashtag ABTV Finding Carter. Use all those hashtags when you tweet at us.
Yes,
Hannah, tell everybody where they can tweet at you.
Y'all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at @TheHotShotDude.
And like I said earlier, follow me on Twitter at the Kylie Hodges or Instagram just at Kylie Hodges. I love chatting with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.